The colonial masters deliberately gave the Indo-Guyanese a head start in Guyanese life by flooding the crops produced by the newly freed Africans. Such actions drove the Africans to seek employment, hence their gravitation to the public service. This formed the discussion of the program Nation Watch, and spearheading the discourse were Dr. David Hinds and moderator Mervyn Williams. Dr. Hinds said that the Africans set about and succeeded in humanizing the coastal plains.
The African Guyanese, in a sense, tamed this coast, right? A place where they bought people, sold people, and killed people before they were 25 years old.
Yeah.
A place that was infected with all kinds of wild animals, infested with diseases. You mentioned European-brought diseases and all other things. And African Guyanese, with their own hands and their minds, were able to physically transform this place into a habitable environment.
He said that the notion of an agricultural environment had its roots in the villages.
What we now call local government was the basis of local and national government. All right? The education system. When those people came off the plantations, well, the first thing they did is they built the churches. That's well known. And next to the churches, they built schools, setting the stage for the education system that we know today.
Williams, an advocate for indigenous peoples, recalled the plight visited on the African Guyanese post-1992.
In fact, between 92 and 97, the public sector, that public service, predominantly populated by African Guyanese, jobs were made redundant. The public sector shrunk by 20,000, upwards of 20,000 jobs. So in that 5 to 7 year period, you had more than 20,000 African Guyanese without employment. You had a reduction in the strength of the Guyana Defense Force, which at one time I think operated at somewhere around 1,300 members. So it meant that when you reduce the strength, you displaced African Guyanese.
The Guyana National Service was discontinued. The Army Reserve Corps, the People's Militia, was dead.
All these actions removed African Guyanese from active employment and the ability to earn, put food on the table for their children. What we had emerging was a sweetie tray, cigarette tray kind of operation on the streets. We abuse it now, we cuss it now, we say it's disorderly. But it was an absolute necessity at the time when it emerged.
Williams said that having displaced the African Guyanese, the PPP has moved to man the command centers with Indo-Guyanese.
All this is happening now, and here is this gentleman, Jagdio, saying, Norton should encourage African Guyanese to go into business if he vexed because they ain't getting work in the public sector. And in the ministries, you may have 2 African Guyanese as permanent secretaries.
Dr. Hinds said that from 1992, there has been a feeling of anti-black racism.
If these people are slaves, they are subhuman. It means that you have to fear them because they're not acting as human beings. They are going to kill you. They are going to rob you. They are going to rape you. And that notion of the African is universal, comes out of this dehumanizing experience, right? As they said in America, African people could not exist in a state of freedom.
He said that there is a structured approach to the disempowerment of the Afro-Guyanese.
The PPP comes to power. The PPP feels that the African-led party did them wrong, and they're going to use state power to take political revenge.